Hello. I'm gonna be doing obscure kids movies. They're not kids movies. They're just movies I watched when I was a kid that not a lot of kids were watching. And some of them are not really obscure. Like you never heard of it. It's just like these are ones that during my childhood I watched that most kids probably weren't watching. So. Apollo 13, I don't have that. And that's not obscure, but I saw it when I was like 7, and that's not a kid's movie, so. And I've been on this list if I own that. I mean, in Black, I do own, but I don't feel like looking for it. And again, it's not obscure, but I saw it when I was a kid, when might not, I shouldn't have, probably. This is pretty much what this list is. Like, there are some kid movies, and then there are some that aren't. And then also Space Cowboys. That one is obscure. No one has ever really heard of Space Cowboys, but that is one other movie that I really loved, and I saw that when I was like 9 years old, and like that. So yeah, but getting down to it. First is My Little Pony Otis. And I know people do know this movie, but not one a lot of people talk about that I hear about. So yeah, My Little Pony Otis. Hansel and Gretel on Babysitter's Club, which I don't think is that obscure, but again, not a lot of people talk about that movie. That was like one of my favorite movies of childhood. Hansel and Gretel was my favorite like little kid movie, and then Babysitter's Club was like when I was 7 years old, and that was like my favorite movie at that time. But Hansel and Gretel, great movie. Even now, it's good. Ernest Scared Stupid. Again, not like obscure, but not a lot of people have really seen this, which makes me sad. I need to see it. I rewatched it 2 days ago, and it's still wonderful. Next is The Beautician and the Beast. This one is absolutely obscure. Like, it is. It's not one that I hear anybody talking about, but I don't even remember when I saw this or why, but I did when I was little in the theater. But it was really good, and I have it on DVD, and I've seen it a lot since I've gotten it, and it's still wonderful, and I still love it so much. October Sky. Again, it's not obscure, but I saw this when I was like 8 years old. I guess it's like PG or something, so it's not like bad. But it's not like, one you would think a little kid would want to watch. But I saw it in the theater like 4 times and was obsessed, and it's still one of my favorite movies. Next is The Outsiders, which is my favorite movie. And I saw this when I was in 5th grade, or 4th or 5th grade. So yeah, I was pretty young when I watched that. And yeah. Next is Love and Basketball. I don't know if I don't really hear too many people talk about it, but I do know people know it. But again, I saw it when I was pretty young, and I fell in love with it. And I haven't watched it in a while, honestly, but I used to watch it like every single day for a while. It's a really good movie. Next is Long Shot, which no one's seen because it's cheesy and awful, but I love it. It has like all these boy bands in it, and I've watched this like multiple times, like over 100 times, because I find it enjoyable. It's just whatever. Josie and the Pussycat. This one is kind of obscure. I mean, I've seen people talk about it more now, but I haven't really heard too many people talk about it. But it was one of my favorites when I was growing up, and it's just hilarious, and I love it. Next is My Neighbor Totoro. Again, not that obscure, but one that whenever someone mentions it, I'm like, oh my god, because no one talks about this. And it's wonderful, and you just see it. And then next is On the Line. I saw this. Actually, I believe I was in 7th grade, so I wasn't like little anymore. I'm going to include it because it's obscure, and I know people are like, it's bad. It's not a good movie, but, I've got to take it for what it is, and for what it is, I love it. Then next, and the last, the Music of the Heart. I saw this in 4th grade because I loved NSYNC, and so I heard that they had a song in the movie, and they really don't. You had to buy the soundtrack to actually like hear the song they sang in the movie, but they have their music video on here now, so yeah, it's good. But I really just watched this for that, and it was in it, and I was kind of upset. I was like, what? But I actually really, really loved it, and I saw it like 4 or 5 times in the theater. Honestly, like I was obsessed with this movie, and it's such a good movie. Like Meryl Streep, this was the first movie I saw of hers, and like I don't know why like this one isn't talked about as much as her other movies, because this movie is amazing and it really does need more attention. But yeah, I also saw Space Cowboys because I heard that Space Cowboy by NSYNC was gonna be in the movie, and it's like a 4-second audio clip, and then it's over. And I was like, oh man, but then I told her I love the movie anyway. So yeah, NSYNC got me into 2 movies accidentally. So yeah, that is all for this. If you have any obscure children's movies or any obscure films that you love or maybe no one really heard of, leave them down below. And they don't even have to be like obscure. Just like maybe you grew up with a movie that's meant for adults and most kids wouldn't like Apollo 13. Like I said, in 2007, and I loved it, and like most kids wouldn't. So it's just like so they could do that as well. So that is all. Good.